right, we are going to talk about the J stroke here. And the J stroke is the single most important paddling technique for stand up surfing and paddling in general. And if you're not familiar with the J stroke, I will tell you its purpose is to allow us to track straight on the board. That's put simply. And basically, a big problem with paddlers of all abilities is as they're paddling for a wave, the board will shoot to one side or the other because when you paddle on one side of a board, if you're not paddling correctly, the board is eventually going to go to one side or the other. So if you're paddling on the right side, eventually the nose of the board is going to go to the left, and we don't want that if we need to paddle straight towards the beach to catch a wave, or if we need to have our head up looking down the line to position ourselves well on the wave. And having worked with many stand-up paddlers over the years, it has become very evident that in stand-up surfing, one of the biggest issues is not necessarily surfing on the wave if you're looking to improve. One of the big things to fix is your stroke technique, because using proper technique like the J stroke is going to allow you to set yourself up better on the wave. A lot is happening before you're actually surfing on the wave, because if you're paddling parallel to the beach to set yourself up in a good position to catch the wave, you are probably going to surf that wave a lot better than if you're doing a late drop and you're behind the section. So if you want to improve your stand-up surfing, don't think that it's all going to be done just on the wave part of your stand-up surfing. In fact, a vast majority of beginner to intermediate stand-up paddlers will improve tremendously if you work on techniques such as the J stroke. So in this video, we're going to focus on the J stroke, which is going to allow you to paddle straighter, to catch the wave in a better position, and essentially surf the wave better. And it will also help you when you're paddling out. So we will go over all of those instances, but I want to start with a first person point of view of what exactly the J stroke is, and we'll talk about how to do it. And this is shot on a race board, but the same technique applies to when you're on a stand-up. So check this out, and then we will go back to the waves.
So I'm coming forward on the reach, and the first thing I'm going to do is just with a slight twist of my top hand and getting my top hand out over my bottom hand, I'm going to change that blade angle. So look at the blade angle of what's going on there. The face is open to the board. It's not out here straight and flat like when we're doing our normal stroke technique, and I'm not pulling just straight back like a normal stroke technique. What I'm doing is I'm changing that angle, and then I'm slightly pulling towards the board on the catch, and then going to my normal stroke. And it's a very subtle movement because we don't want to do it so much that we're reducing our forward speed. The idea is that we're still going forward at our same speed with a slight steering by using these mechanisms. So we don't want to go super aggressive like this towards our board if we're trying to maintain a fast forward speed, because that's just going to slow you down. So it's very subtle on the entry, and now I'm going into my normal stroke, okay? So again, look at the blade angle on the entry, open face towards the board, and then watch as I go forward into my normal stroke.
Okay, so here I am paddling for a wave, and one of the first things I want you to notice is how my head is up and I'm looking down the line. All right, this is a big advantage of employing the J stroke, is you're going to have more control over your board and you're going to surf the wave better if you have your head up. That's going to allow you to see how the wave is forming so you can decide how you paddle into the wave and then think about what you want to do once you're on the wave. So a lot of beginners tend to have their head down. Well, if you employ the J stroke, you're going to have more control over your board and you're going to be able to have your head up. Now you'll notice, look at the angle of my shaft. It's coming what I call a negative angle, almost under my board. My head's up. I'm opening the blade face to the board and I'm stroking under the board to help pull the board forward to catch the wave, but also to prevent the nose of the board from shooting to the left because I want to go right here. And it's kind of a fatter wave, so I'm paddling straight to catch a wave. I don't need to angle my board hard, as I'm going to show you in the next video, because the wave is kind of fat. And in order to surf it well and in order to catch the wave, I need to be pointed more towards the beach. And again, you'll look at the blade face is open to the board. I'm pulling under the board and it's keeping that nose straight. I'm looking down the line to see how I want to catch this wave, see how I want to surf it. And now I'm in, and now I'm going to go into my bottom turn and surf the wave. And I'm going to go for a cutback. But all of this is set up by using the J stroke. People want to learn how to do a good cutback. Well, you can't cut back on the wave if you're not setting yourself up well, and the J stroke is going to allow you to do that. So in this next clip, I want to show you how to paddle in when the wave is a little steeper. So here we have our assistant instructor, Oscar, and you'll notice again, look at his eyes are on the wave. Now watch as he employs the J stroke here, and his is going to be a little bit more exaggerated on this because he is paddling into a steeper wave. So you'll notice right now the nose of his board is pointed straight towards the beach, but he's going to want to angle his board a little bit down the line because he's reading the wave and he sees that it's going to be a little steep, so he wants to immediately go into a high line to make the section. So you'll see what I'm saying as we go forward here, but look at the blade face open to the board. He's pulling towards the board, and watch the nose of the board shoot to the left here. So there's one stroke. It goes a little bit to the left. Here's another stroke. Again, blade face is open to the board. Look at the nose of the board. Shoot to the left. All right, that's two strokes. And he's gone about a foot to the left. And again, shooting to the left. And he's also producing forward speed to catch the wave. A little bit sloppy there, but it's shooting to the left. And now look, he's going to catch this wave right where he wants to be on the shoulder and kind of pointed down the line a little bit more than how I was pointed in that last wave. And now he's just getting in. He's on a small board, so he's really having to paddle hard to get into this wave. And now he's set up for a nice bottom turn in his cutback. But all of this was made possible by the setup of a nice J stroke. So especially on these tinier stand-up paddle surfboards, you really are going to want to use the J stroke. So let's watch Oscar from the beginning here, and we'll watch him paddle in for this wave and using the J stroke. His eyes are on the wave, and watch the nose of the board pull to the left, pull to the left. He's directing his board with his paddle stroke, and that's really a huge advantage of the J stroke, also allowing him to look at the wave as it approaches. And now in this next clip, I want to show you how the J stroke is valuable when you're paddling out through the surf. So here I am paddling out through the surf, and you're going to see the angle of the blade. This is a better angle because you can see behind me is almost coming under the board. Now, if you saw Oscar in the last video, he actually did not have this angle, and he was still able to achieve the J stroke. I find that when people are learning, especially, to have them get their top hand, as I have my top hand here, out over your bottom hand, so over the side, as opposed to directly vertical, and especially you don't want to have it over here so that your blade is coming out here, because then you're going to paddle once on the right side and the board's going to shoot to the left. All right, so notice the angle of my shaft, And I'm not going to switch paddling almost the entire time as I paddle out. And what that allows me to do is have more control over my board and keep my forward speed, because every time I switch sides to paddle, I'm losing forward speed. And you'll notice on this tiny board, it also allows me to brace and not switch sides. Okay, so as I come here, up and over, I'm bracing, not having to switch sides, staying on that right side, controlling my board with the J stroke, keeping that forward speed, bending my knees as I come to the whitewash. And this J stroke is just, especially on these smaller boards, is giving me a lot of control over my board. Watch that angle of the shaft. I'm almost paddling under my board. Still haven't switched sides since I left the beach. And if I want to go to the right, okay, if I want to go to the right, I can pull the J stroke with a negative shaft like this, and that's going to pull my board to the right. Now, if I want to go left, I stay on the same side, and I can just paddle wider. And essentially, I'm just going to have a lot more control of my board. So get out there, practice the J stroke. Check out bluezonesup.com to see more of our tutorial videos and to come down and surf where these videos are filmed in beautiful Costa Rica, and get surf coaching from myself. And we'll get some video analysis for yourself, and you'll be able to see how using the J stroke can improve your surfing, cutbacks, you name it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you later.